In the noisy and volatile world of trading, it is easy for us to get swept into the whirlpool of numbers, of seemingly endless opportunities. Every day, thousands of traders around the world open their screens, fix their eyes on charts, hunt news, and place orders in the hope of making quick profits. In such an environment, patience becomes a rare psychological asset. And among the countless voices, Peter Brandt charts a different path, silent, composed, and enduring. Peter entered the world of trading without grand ambition or burning desire. He worked for a commodity trading firm in Chicago, and his sole responsibility was to hand-draw price charts. Each day, he spent hours sketching price lines on paper, which are then passed on to traders for analysis. While many aspired to be the ones placing trades, Peter quietly observed from behind the curtain. His silence was not shyness. It was a deep form of presence, a kind of inner listening. When you look at charts hundreds of times, day after day, you start to see hidden patterns. The market, once seen as chaos, begins to reveal recurring forms, subtle rules etched by the psychology of the crowd. That's when Peter realized price was speaking to him. While modern traders chase optimal tools, AI bots, high leverage, and precise entries and exits, Peter turned the other way. He believed it was not indicators or strategies, but patience that allowed traders to survive long-term. And patience cannot be taught in a classroom. It only comes after you've heard enough, waited long enough, and understood that motion is not always strength. Peter didn't trade every day. He only acted when a pattern was clear and his mind was calm. It was the patience of a sniper, not firing unless absolutely sure. While many traders panicked over news, he simply closed his laptop, went for a walk, or sipped coffee. While others entered trades out of boredom, he quietly read price and wrote in his journal. Trading for Peter was no longer a game of in and out. It was a journey of inner cultivation. He likened sitting in front of the charts to meditation. In silence, he saw structure. In quietness, he dispelled fear. He once shared that he waited nearly 3 months for a single trade. While others jumped in and were swept away early, he waited until his mind and the market aligned. That was the meditative state in trading, being fully present and attuned to the market. Trading is not a short-term mental contest, but a long-term trial of self-control. It asks us to be patient in small wins, composed in small losses, and steady when unsure. No one escapes pain in trading, but the biggest difference between those who endure and those who quit is who waits longer. We don't need to trade to prove ourselves. We should trade to understand ourselves. Because when you stare at a market with no setup, you'll see your real self. You'll know how much you can restrain. You'll know how firm your conviction is. And you'll know why you're trading, for money or to be truly yourself. Peter Brandt has become a mirror for countless traders, not because he's rich or famous, but because he came to trading out of genuine love, a love for the flow of human psychology. He saw the market like a story and chose to be the artist who listens, not the one who argues. If trading is a race, let Peter Brandt be the one who walks slowly but steadily passes all others amid the noise. Because trading does not measure success by money, but by the ability to persist long enough to wait for your time. And the one who waits longest is the one who understands trading best. If you've traded long enough, you'll realize silence is not emptiness. It is the space where intuition speaks. It's where the mind pauses, observes, and waits for something truly worth acting on. And in a world full of false signals, misguided advice, and hyped-up systems, perhaps the most precious thing isn't a high win rate strategy, but a calm mind that knows when to act and when to refrain. Peter Brandt doesn't need the market to speak to him every day. He only needs it to whisper at the right moment, and he will be there, not early, not late, not shaken. That steadfastness doesn't come from indicators. It comes from having walked the path long enough with a mind that no longer gets pulled by noise. And if you ask what the real superpower of a veteran trader is, it's not calling tops or bottoms, but walking in stillness, consistently, steadily, unfazed by the market's fiercest storms. Trading is not for those who always need something to do. It's for those who know when to act and when to wait. And in that waiting, you will find yourself again. Because in the end, trading is not merely surviving storms. It is a journey back to a soul calm enough to ride the waves and humble enough to accept that sometimes standing still is the highest form of action. And if there's one truth that Peter Brandt has proven with his career, it's this: true success doesn't come from how much you know, but from your willingness to live what you know long enough, deep enough, and honestly enough. The chart patterns he trades are not the secret. The mind steady as a boulder in the storm is the key. His silence is not apathy, but a form of deep faith. Faith in timing, faith in method, and above all, faith in himself. If today you find a market unclear, don't force yourself to act. If your mind feels unsettled, give yourself a morning to walk, breathe deeply, and write a few lines in your journal. Because maybe what you need isn't another winning trade, but a moment of reconnection with the trader within. Just like Peter has done for 40 unbroken years through daily presence, even on days when nothing special happened. Because to him, surviving the market is already a victory. And that quiet resilience, that is what makes a legend. And if you ever wonder where your path lies, don't search in the noise. Search in the silence. Look again at how you read charts. Do you truly see? Or are you just chasing a release of emotion? Are you truly listening to the market? Or merely hoping it will confirm your inner craving? Peter Brandt doesn't see charts as a place to find miracles. He sees them as mirrors of collective psychology, where someone calm enough can perceive what's truly unfolding. And he stays with them, day after day, year after year, without demanding success to come early, without hoping for magical wealth, only so that each time he sits down, it's a moment of complete presence, like a ritual, like a meeting, like a vow to himself. Peter Brandt doesn't see charts as a place to find miracles. He sees them as mirrors of collective psychology, where someone calm enough can perceive what's truly unfolding. And he stays with them, day after day, year after year, without demanding success to come early, without hoping for magical wealth, only so that each time he sits down, it's a moment of complete presence, like a ritual, like a meeting, like a vow to himself. So what are the deeper lessons we can draw from Peter Brandt's legacy? What truths can we extract that transcend mere strategy and edge? Perhaps one of the most fundamental lessons is that mastery in trading is less about predicting the market and more about mastering oneself. The charts may change, patterns may evolve, tools may become obsolete, but the human behind the screen remains the constant variable. Learning to recognize your emotions, impulses, fears, and expectations, and learning to sit with them rather than react to them, is a lifelong discipline. Peter's journey is a testament to this emotional discipline, showing us that great trades are not the result of clever tactics, but of calm clarity. Another crucial lesson is that process is everything. In a world obsessed with outcomes, Peter returns our attention to process. Every morning routine, every chart review, every journal entry, each is a sacred ritual of respect to the craft. This is not romanticism, it is resilience. In the face of losing streaks, stagnation, or market uncertainty, a trader who respects process has something to hold on to. Without process, you are left to the mercy of your last trade's outcome. But with process, you are anchored. Moreover, Peter teaches us that consistency is not just about results. It is a reflection of character. To show up each day, to wait when others rush, to hold your ground when the market tests your nerves. These are not market skills. These are life virtues. His quiet consistency, practiced over decades, teaches us that the markets are not won with brilliance in moments, but with integrity over time. To be consistently honest with yourself, consistently disciplined in your rules, consistently humble in the face of uncertainty. That is the true definition of trading maturity. There is also the lesson of detachment, not apathy, but healthy emotional distance. Peter doesn't seek to control the market. He listens to it. He doesn't cling to expectations. He reads what is. This kind of detachment allows him to act only when the alignment is present, not when desire commands him to. In a world of overtrading, forced trades, and dopamine-driven decision-making, learning to wait without craving is a superpower. And then there's perhaps the most powerful lesson of all. Longevity is the ultimate edge. Anyone can have a good month, a lucky quarter, even a spectacular year. But to be there, present, sane, consistent, through market crashes, bubbles, pandemics, regime changes, and algorithmic revolutions, that takes more than skill. It takes a philosophy. It takes a way of life. Peter's endurance is not an accident. It is the reward for a mindset shaped by humility, discipline, patience, and reflection. And it is this mindset that keeps him rooted through volatility, unshaken by noise, and always ready for the moment that truly matters. Peter's story is not one of fireworks and headlines. It is the story of a man who dared to listen to the market, to himself, and to silence. And in that silence, he found something most traders spend their entire careers chasing: peace. Peace in uncertainty. Peace in waiting. Peace in knowing that he didn't need to conquer the market, only to walk alongside it and know when to step and when to stay still. If we carry anything forward from his journey, let it be this: the greatest trade you'll ever make is not on a chart, but in your mindset. It is the trade where you let go of ego and embrace awareness, where you replace urgency with presence, where you trade not because you must, but because the moment has truly arrived. When you stop fighting the market and begin flowing with it, you begin to experience trading not as conflict, but as communion. And like Peter, you become less a speculator and more a student, not just of price, but of life itself. So the next time you sit in front of a chart, remember, you are not just looking for a setup. You are also being looked at by the market and by your own consciousness. The question is, will you be ready when it's time? Will you have the strength to wait until clarity emerges? Will you have the humility to do nothing and the courage to act when it matters most? These are the real lessons. And Peter Brandt has been quietly teaching them, not through words, but through example for over 40 years. That is the trade that never expires. That is the wisdom beyond the candles. And that is the invitation extended to every trader who dares to slow down, look deeper, and finally, listen.